Economist and senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast Business School, John Gachi, has called for the integration of private-public partnership into Ghana's public financing. This, he says, will ensure more accountability and prudent use of national resources. Speaking on the AM show ahead of the mid-year budget presentation, John Gachi also called for the disaggregation of Ghana's public expenditure to ensure the public knows what goes into which area.
Public expenditure are not well decomposed.
Meaning what? Decomposed, meaning what?
Yeah, meaning that they will tell you that when they talk about public expenditure, it's about financing projects in the country, financing activities, goods and services in the country, financing things that will improve the economy. But if you have a clear decomposition of the public expenditure, where we know very clear that this quantum is what goes to this particular thing, which we think that that is not necessary at all, then we can do demand for accountability pressure, put pressure on those who are in charge of spending to let them know that that area is not necessary at all for the forward march of the economy. But everything is lumped into what they are calling public sector expenditure, which is very, very difficult. You realize that even when some people are calling for a distinction between expenditure on Article 71 recipients and the ordinary Ghanaians, it is very difficult to even come back. They are not willing to come back. Even Parliament is not willing to come by that. Those who are part of that category think that it's not necessary. So when we compare in that part, it becomes very difficult when we are talking of excessive public expenditure. Because they tell you they are going to cut this, they are going to cut that. But that may not be the area which is causing the pain of the country. So this is the challenge that we are facing in that direction. We need to integrate the PPP approach into public finance in the country, bring on board the private sector to clearly see, as he was saying, to clearly see what opportunities they are in the PPP for them and what role they can play. And when they engage in that role, they will not lose money for their shareholders and those who own the entities that we are calling private companies or private sector. Structure of the economy is key factor in the problem profile of the country. The management of fiscal aspect is also a problem. Of course, if you have a high deficit, you cannot say that the fiscal situation has been managed effectively. Of course, if you are not raising enough revenue, you cannot say that you are managing the fiscal regime effectively. And of course, if you have a macroeconomic factors going out of control, you cannot say that the situation is managed effectively. But what is important is what are the root causes of all these things? Does that necessarily mean that those who are managing today are the root cause, or there are some reason why these challenges could be acceptable and then could be managed along the line? So those are the issues we need to consider so that we do not play blame game too much across about the issue.
Let's talk about a few more diagnoses of the country's economy, even as we wait for Parliament to begin sitting so the Finance Minister can present the review of the 2014 budget mid-year. Economist and COO of Ishmael Yamson and Associate Michael Harry Yamson says government must provide clarity and assurance to private sector in terms of policies. He was also speaking on the AM show ahead of the presentation of the mid-year review budget by Finance Minister. Michael Yamson noted government cannot continue to miss revenue and expenditure targets.
Generally speaking, the rules are set by the state. The rules are set by the public sector. The rules can be, the private sector can input into the rules, but they don't set the rules. So I think that it is very important that in all the collaboration, government and the public sector is very, very clear about the rules and about protecting the interests of Ghana. It is true, a private sector operator owes his first allegiance to his shareholders, and so he will maximize profit, but he must do so within a set of clear, enforced and enforceable rules, and that is the responsibility of government and public sector. So in this collaboration, even if the person from the private sector has come with dirty hands, the rules and the simplicity and clarity of them ought to be such that it is impossible for his dirty hands to soil the process. So yes, indeed, there are two parties, both responsible for making sure that this project, which is Ghana, works. But I still will maintain that for the private sector operator, he is looking for clarity. He is looking for government to play the role of providing the right kind of environment. Going forward, we cannot have a situation where revenue targets are missed, as John said, and at the same time, expenditure targets are missed. A bad situation then becomes much worse. What we need to do is to focus on how we're going to make our economy much more competitive and private sector led. We're going to have to understand very clearly what it is that government must do so that the private sector operator has confidence in the way in which the economy is being managed. What must we do so that our cedi can be stable, so that the supply of forex into this market is adequate for what the economy needs to do? What must we do to ensure that when we create jobs, we can create them in significant numbers, and they will be jobs that will stay, and there will be jobs that will be of high quality? These are the issues. I think that within them, it is possible for us to draw an awful lot of detail, but that work needs to be done as a partnership, where very clearly the ambition to grow in leaps and bounds, well beyond the 6% that we hope for. I'm talking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Is it possible?
It is possible.
What must we do?
Look, when President Clinton came to power, he called a huge summit. He brought people of every shade. And the task was, go and agree how we are going to make this economy vibrant, active, robust, and growing sustainably. And those 300 people came back and put a plan on the table. And that plan was implemented with diligence.
Can we replicate it in Ghana?
It is replicable because it has been done. So between the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, with the real sector, with agriculture, with finance, all these components worked together, and we saw the turnaround and the sustained growth. It is possible. Today, we hear 36 months of sustained growth in jobs in America. After the crisis that was unprecedented, they have turned around and are now even dampening expectations of how much growth people should expect. It is possible. What we need is a very aggressive plan that is executed by government in partnership with the private sector.
Do we need another century?
We don't need another century, because century was in response to a crisis. What we want is something that is looking at how do we create growth which is sustainable. So not another century.
I'll cross over to Parliament now and find out what's happening there. Emmanuel Antes, our parliamentary correspondent, is joining me via telephone. Hello, Emma.
Hello, Kamini.
Tell us what's been going on.
Well, the speaker just arrived and the session just began. They are now doing prayers, and then after that, then they'll check the vote of proceedings, and then everything will start to commence. That's what's happening. But one thing I stumbled upon is the speech the Minister of Finance is going to be read in the floor, on the floor of Parliament today. And I just glanced through. You can see I'm panting because I was running to get that information and then get back to the house quickly before everything starts. But the information I gathered from the document I'm holding right now indicates that the minister has admitted that most of the challenges that the country is facing is admitted to the failures of some of the policies they have put in place and all, and that is a positive sign. A lot of people who have also gotten a glimpse, that's the MP, some of the MPs who are around who have gotten a glimpse of what is there, are hailing the minister because they are saying that he's being truthful enough. His frankness has really marveled some of them. And so this is what I have now. I'm trying to see if I can relay this information, that document I'm having now, to the studio so that you can interrogate it further before the minister comes to read it on the floor of the House. So far, I mean, everything has been good. This is something I have for you right now.
At what time do we expect Setekwe to address the floor?
Well, the time I cannot say, but it's within the next hour or so, because the House just started. And there are some questions some of the MPs are asking some of the ministers who will also be coming to the House. So that will take a bit of a time. After that, that's when the minister will come to the floor to come and address the House on the policies and the financial policies of 2014 so far.
I see. From where we sit and watching on the screen, the House seems a bit empty. Is there a special reason for that?
No, Kimini, if you've been monitoring, you realize that it's usually like this early in the mornings, like this when the House starts. A lot of the members are not here yet. Some of them are here, but are down there checking their pigeonholes and taking some breakfast before coming onto the floor. So this is not news. This is not extraordinary, or this is not new to the House. It's always like this when it starts. Some of the time, when it's about starting like this, you see a lot of members in the House, but today it's just as normal as it is every day.
But tell me something. Shouldn't the presence of the Speaker of the House in his seat mean that all other members should be in the House?
Yes. What it is that before the Speaker comes to the House or to the chamber, a bell is rung. The bell is rung 3 times to inform members that Speaker is about sitting, so they should get into the chamber. As we are speaking now, most of them are not here, not in the premises or on the premises at the moment. They are not at the premises at the moment, and so even if the bell is rung, it means they are not here. So that nothing can be done to it. But if there are some members sitting somewhere else or doing some other things, the whip will be going around to make sure they all come back into the chamber. So, but I can tell you for a fact that at the moment, most of them are not here. They are now on their way. Probably we can blame it on the rain or something, but they are not here. I can see where I'm standing right now. I have just come out to be able to talk to you. I can't talk in the chamber. I just came out, and I'm seeing some of them now arriving. And so probably in a few minutes, we'll see a lot of them in the chamber.
Per your experience, what time should we expect the finance minister addressing the House?
I'll say within the next 45 or so minutes, he should be addressing the House committee. Considering the number of questions that are going to be asked on the floor, there are about 4 questions tabled on the other paper. So it means if we are to take the questions, that each member that will ask a question has 4 opportunities to ask. After the question, you have 3 other supplementary questions to ask. After that, the floor will be given to other members to also contribute to ask 1 or 2 questions. But if the Speaker chooses, by the Speaker's own directive, he can choose to just let the one who is asking the question, you just ask the question and the minister will answer, and then that's it. Other than that, that can even take us beyond the 1 hour or the 45 minutes I'm even talking about. We can even go to 1.5 or probably 2 hours. But
this document,
30 to 45 minutes.
Right. This document that you have in your possession, highlight some of the pointers in it that really go to say that in the budget review, the finance minister is admitting some of the hardships we experience.
As I'm speaking to you now, I can't talk. I am being asked to get in there and stop talking on the phone. So give me about 2 minutes. I'll get back to you. I'll call back
Absolutely.
to the office and let it, because I'm being asked that the speaker is asking that everybody be brought in.
Absolutely.
So let me go in.
We look forward to the Tima. Emmanuel Antes, parliamentary correspondent. You saw some live pictures also from Parliament. In a bit, Finance Minister should address the August House. But now I stay over the telephone and speak with economist Gilbert Ibrahim. And hello, Gilbert. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well. One of our biggest expectations, hoping that will be addressed in this particular review, is how we can mobilize revenue. What do you see when it comes to that?
Yeah, with the review and then looking at it specifically regarding revenue mobilization, at this time in our life as an economy, yes, it's very crucial and important to open up the tax and making more revenue, because every sector seeks to attract more attention, because infrastructure itself is a challenge in almost every sector. So the revenue mobilization will be there. But then I see this review more, targeting at stabilizing the economy more than just making more revenue.
And so we expect some tweaks to some of our targets we set when we look at GDP rate.
Definitely, there must be some review of most of the targets. But then the target regarding growth, for example, I don't see how to reduce highly, against in terms of downward review, because the growth rate in terms of productivity will expand the capacity to be able to stand the pay, whatever government pays. And I see this budget particularly trying to bridge the gap between productivity and pay, because government will have to increase production or put pressure on people to increase productivity so that we'll be in position to pay what we are asking for, because there's a gap between volumes of pay and levels of productivity, which has to be bridged. And I see this budget doing something, this review doing something about that. And that's where the physical discipline will come strongly.
Would also hope that the budget will address our debt ratios. The fact that we still have a chunk of our debt, our debts representing a chunk of our GDP. What are expectations of that?
Now, with some of definitely. The debt ratio is not good. It's one of the worst indicators regarding the level we are doing at development. And then we have to retarget and re-strategize to service the debt, because we cannot use all we have to service the debt. We still have huge deficit of infrastructure, which will still go back for the same loan. But I see this putting us at a position that probably we will do an appraisal, look at where the debts are taking us to, and then we'll now put the package in place to simply and prudently service the debt. And yes, the economy will still have funds to move in terms of provision of infrastructure.
But with the difficulty we are faced with when it comes to our currency, when it comes to our traditional exports, the prices of our traditional exports over the world markets, and then we want to properly retarget GDP to debt ratio. We want to retarget inflation. How should we go about it to have a realistic target now?
You know, when we want to retarget this one, and then we are faced with these issues that we need to retarget, and we are also faced with a major problem where the city is depreciating at a rate that is that's not too good for the economy. And we got touch on something about exports. And this is one of the things that whatever we will do, given the rate of depreciation of the city, it will erode all the gains if the city keeps depreciating at this level. And it's just because there's a shortage of the foreign currency. And one of the ways to store up the supply of the foreign currency is to check on our exports. And as we devalue as we depreciate, and that's why if you see depreciation in itself or devaluation, there's a level of gain that we can derive from it. So if we concentrate on it, if now we have the depreciated, that means that our exports can get cheaper on the international market. If we're able to come up with a good export promotion from the council and other people, then we're able to push more locally produced goods outside. It increases the supply of the foreign currency, and that can go as another way to help store up the city against the dollar. And then those other targets will be, that's why I started by saying that this review will be targeted more at stabilization policy and also growth, because the two would have to go together.
Since we've already started talking about growth, let's look at the fact that even if we wanted to look at our exports, take a more critical look at our exports, we have our energy crisis to fear. In that it has adversely affected our ability to produce in the country.
That's right.
And so that there seems to be a chunk of work that needs to be done. We don't expect it to change overnight or over the next 6 months we have left for the 2014 fiscal year.
Yeah, that is very true. We don't, considering the energy challenges and other issues, this review cannot come and solve all the problems. No, it won't. But it will peg some of the problems. It will stop them from getting worse. Then other policies will take it up. We don't expect this to resolve the challenges. And honestly, no policy now can be put in place by the end of the year to get the economy to a level. But we want to see the commitment. We want to see the effort. We want to see policies that we can predict and determine that in the next year or two, definitely this will pick up. Inflation rate will be here. The economy is relatively stable, which will impact on the condition of life of the people. So we don't expect that this review should come and take away all our challenges. But we want to see practical policies, and that's my expectation. That will stabilize the economy. Number one, that's the gain, if we're able to achieve it by December. Then other subsequent policies will be targeted at taking it up to a level that we all know that we are progressing.
And so let's talk about stability now. That's what a lot of Ghanaians are looking forward to now, even before we achieve growth. How would the ordinary Ghanaian know that from this review the finance minister has read, ABC means that we are looking forward to a future of stability?
Yeah, stability and the gains on the people, it's difficult to really tell that this is how it's going, but this is how it's going to be. If you're able to stabilize the economy and inflation drop, that means that if within this day you have 50%, you can buy a bottle of tea. And if you don't stabilize, and in the next 2 weeks, it increases to 1 cedi, you see that you have to look for extra 50 to acquire the same quantity you had previously. But if you're able to stabilize it or even cause it to decrease the level, that means that by that period that you'll be looking for 1 cedi, you'll still be spending the 50 over a relatively longer period of time. And that creates excess. The rate at which money gets out of the pocket of the people will reduce. And in that process, government also gains some other revenue that they will use to provide infrastructure that will make life comfortable, like education, health, among others. And that impacts directly in the welfare of the people. You won't see it directly, but you will feel it with time. It's not going to be immediate. And definitely, no matter how the economy will be stable, there are people who will complain. But majority will see that even though the place is hard, but if you put the effort, you're able to recoup something that will lift up your conditions of living and give you a good quality of lifestyle, which is the target of every government.
I guess what I'm trying to find out is, considering too many problems, in fact, too many problems that we are faced with as a country. And so if you would want to achieve stability, like you've said, you need some sound policies in achieving that. How do we go about it in the first place? What are those policies that we need if we want to achieve stability in this year?
To achieve this year, number one, we need to get the fiscal discipline. strongly, then good monetary policies to regulate supply. And that's why the Bank of Ghana will have to work with the financial institutions. The supervisory role to be strong and monitor the financial institutions. So that they do the right thing, what they're supposed to do. Then, while we struggle to catch inflation and some at the speed the depreciation, then we look at productivity. What are our strengths? Agriculture. We put a lot into agri to increase productivity. Jobs will be created, GDP will go up, and we'll get extra revenue to service our debt. Then industry, which is on a decline. The chart, if you look at it, industry is declining. We didn't even plateau, but we are declining. So we came back. We just have to go back to the drawing board. We don't have to do anything new, anything special. We just have to get to the basics of economic development. Industry, it started. And that's the glory of Kwame Nkrumah we say back in. We get back to industry, pick it up. The government is suffering. Everywhere, there's no part of within the secondary sector that is true. So we now come with policies there. Then trade, these days, is playing a role. And the trade, we can harness some gains there by promoting export. And that means that we have to really package it. So I don't know why they stopped the promotions, export promotions and those things started by the central bank within the wing to do. And industry will be, then when you see agri and industry pick up, definitely it will affect education because you now have to build the necessary skills to support this agri and this industry. And the courses will be introduced, and then the quality of education picks up. All this will bring growth and gains. That will impact on health, and will live well. And definitely, so that means that the whole thing will start with the stability in terms of fiscal and monetary, good fiscal and monetary policies to stabilize, to arrest the decline in the growth rate and other issues of the economy.
Right.
Strongly. Then we now go to the growth aspect where we look at productivity. And when it comes to wages and salaries, I think government must take a stand and check the wage bill because it's relatively proportionately higher than the level of productivity. But a single fine was supposed to match productivity with wages. But presently, originally, we were told that the level of productivity will depend on the scale you have put to. And they came with software that will measure levels of productivity, that will determine the placement. But then we have certain sectors of the economy that truly are throwing up the wage rate than others. There's no equity, there's no uniformity in the wage rate. That is what is bringing this labor issue, which government will have to revisit.
When we look at some of the issues you've raised, can government do this as we are now as a nation? Do we have the resource to do the things you have mentioned, or probably need to take the risk of even increasing our debt stock some more?
No. If we talk about resources to do these things, there's no country that has the volume of resources lying down. That's why we have budgets. That's why we plan. You raise this and you use it. And you can do a deficit and finance it in the following year. You do a surplus and save for future. It's planning.
I'm asking because Gilbert. I'm asking because this is an administration that's put a moratorium on borrowing, on taking loans, and yet we managed to break that and said that there was an exception to that moratorium, and we've taken a couple of loans, and so then it already tells you and I there is no money. There is no resource to do some of the things we want to even do. And so can we take the risk as we stand now with our debt stock and then say that we're taking the risk, we'll take some loans and be responsible in the use of those loans?
You see, that is very, you see, loans in themselves are very good. But the loan, because it's a loan, you will pay with interest. You have to use the loan to create value for the loan itself to service the loan. So when you bring it in, you go for value for money. You invest it in a way that it would expand the economy, put it in a better condition and capacity to service it. But if you take loan and you come and use it to pay wages and salaries, how will you pay it back? Because that doesn't add up to the growth rate to be able to service it. It is what we do with the loan that is the problem. But loan in itself is good. And countries can ride on loan and develop to a level that the countries will get a lot of surpluses that they can use to support the economy and even support other countries. don't get the surplus within their VOP and budget, they can't support any other country. So we can go for the loan, but this time it calls for prudence. It calls for us to sit as a nation when we are going for the loan. What are we using the loan for? Whatever we use it for should be able to finance the loan. If we cannot finance the loan, then it's a bad loan. We don't go for it. And this is what our MPs should be doing in Parliament. When they give them the document to do, they should come out and tell and scrutinize it properly and look at the impact it will have, whether the loan itself can finance itself before we go for it. Otherwise, we just take it because it's money that will come. We are excited, it drops in, and we are not able to monitor exactly what it's used for. It finds itself in other people's pockets. And at the end of the day, what do we also pay? And the debts will increase. So the idea of going for loan or not going depends on what we do. If the commitment is there and one loan for this sector, we get it and we implement it to the letter and make sure we get the results while we take the loan. Then there won't be a problem of loan. Then whatever we generate internally, then we'll not look at it. The problem I have with the internal generation is this. A larger chunk of it, over 80%, if not 100%, is used to pay salary. It cannot be pay salary. That means the loan will come and service the salary. How will it generate revenue that is not enough? So I see government in this budget even trying to take the subvented organization off the government payroll because DVLA should be able to pay their salary so that they don't come from government payroll. So they take the money, do the salary, and the rest is transferred to government checks. The revenue authority should be off the government payroll. There are 6 of them that are named, and the intention is to get them off the road. They should implement that. You see, the government wage bill will drop. And you see the surplus within the IGF, which can be used for other infrastructure development.
It's unclear why that has not been done, considering we have been told as a citizenry that it was supposed to be one of the moves in cutting down on the huge wage bill that the government is saddled with. Hopefully, it will be addressed today as the finance minister reviews the 2014.
Yeah, that's one of the areas I expect the finance minister to come out clear.
Absolutely. But even if we decided that we wanted to sell off some bonds, we have the same situation that we are faced with when we take loans. When we sell off bonds, government, as we have been told, is looking into selling off longer bonds with longer lifespans, and we think, well, it will be a good idea even for the domestic borrowing markets, but we take these monies and then they end up somewhere. We can't make more from it, and we don't know where the monies go.
Yeah, that is the problem with Ghana.
Let's
look at it this way. You see, when you take the whole Ghanaian structure and system, we have the political will, and we have the civil servants also. Civil servants. Now, you see, most of the time the eye is on the politicians. In some instances, regarding these loans, the political will is there, and the idea and the vision is clear. But it takes civil servants to implement some of these things. And the activities of the civil servants, it has to be approved by the politicians too. But you also know our political appointments. Some of them are not, some of the politicians are not, they don't know, they depend on the civil servants for advice. And whatever they put on their desk and their conveyance, they sign. And some of them, they just sign off, it's more like a debt warrant. And the money gets somewhere else. And I think from now, the head of civil service should look again and look at their staff. That is where a lot of problems, the bureaucracy that promotes corruption within the system comes from the civil servant. And I think it's about time the country, Ghana, we took a serious look at the activities of civil servants and transfer and fire and possibly pick some of them, just take their salary of offenses. That will clean the system. You realize that the system will flow, the bureaucracy will go, the corruption will reduce. The corruption level within the civil service is higher than the politicians because the political will sometimes is very clear. But these people who are supposed to implement it, for example, why would, let's take teachers, why would a teacher be recruited? For 12 months, the teacher's salary is not processed. Is it a minister who is supposed to process it or a civil servant? And why would that happen? And why would somebody sit in the office and not do this and take his salary? And why will nurses work for months and somebody will not process their salary? Is it the politician? The budget is there to pay you. Why wouldn't somebody process it and pay you? The money comes for a project. Then they inflate the figures. You hear the value and you see the project and you'll be wondering whether you can reconcile the image you see and the money they are quoting. Why wouldn't we have the a very critical eye on this issue? This is one of the areas where the waste is huge in this country that we cannot get value for money.
And so if we want to generate more money, I mean, besides the fact that we as individuals cannot know for sure what some of these financial, the revenues generated from these financial instruments are used for or end up. Would it be prudent as a country that, okay, we want to generate some funds, would look at the financial, some of these financial instruments to generate the necessary funds we need to take some of the big steps we have already spoken about at the beginning of our conversation?
Yes, and that is where the monitoring and the supervision comes. Who monitors?
What I want to find out is, wouldn't it put more stress on the alien economy? And the fact that these will mature and will need to pay back with dividends or interest, wouldn't it put a bit of a strain on us?
It will. Given the status quo, it will in the future. And even today, whatever we are going through is as a result of some of the loans we took in the 10, 15 years ago. And that's bringing this stress. And it can happen in the future. But that's what I'm saying, that when we pick the loan, when we implement them properly, then the stress will not come. Because we will be laughing. Otherwise, why should a businessman take a loan? A businessman will take a loan, and out of the loan, he will expand the business and grow into a multinational entity. Why can't Ghana take a loan, and out of the loan, Ghana will provide the infrastructure the people need, so that it will be better? Why would a businessman take a loan, and out of the loan, he goes his wealth, and the country Ghana will take a loan, and the loan doesn't serve a purpose, because the public fund. So who is responsible to ensure and supervise and make sure it is done? These are the issues we're looking at.
We'll just keep our fingers crossed and pay attention when the finance minister takes center stage in Parliament today. Find out what the review really is about, and then we'll have another conversation after that. Many thanks, Gilbert.
Thank you very much.
Gilbert Ibrahim is an economist, and we've been looking into the future.
Yes, madam.
We've been looking into the future of the country's economy, as far as generating revenue is concerned, as far as minimizing the public debt, mainly geared towards achieving stability and subsequently growth, as we wait on Setekbe to approach the House and tell us what the future looks like over the next 5 months. You're watching News Desk. When I come back, we'll talk about why Ekospio Gabra is now Minister for Trade and Industry.